Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Johanna. For those of you who are new here, welcome. For those of you who are returning, welcome back. In today's video, I'm actually going to be doing a flip through of October 2020 through February 2021 in my A5 half-year Stalogy for work. And if that is of interest to you, please stay tuned. So this is my Moterm cover. I did pick this up from Amazon as well as Stalogy. If you're interested, I will have it linked in the description box below. I don't decorate this like I've seen people do on YouTube. I've done a little bit and yeah, it's not that interesting to me, so I don't care. And once I put something in there, unless I use it, more than likely it's not coming back out. I do use the storage pocket here for some of the cute Kawaii Girls stickers that I picked up from Amazon. And I do have this little booklet in here for notes, but otherwise, yeah, I just don't even think about that. This is a half-year Stalogy A5 size, and this is my work planner journal. You'll see what I mean by that in a minute. I did do one of these grid pages here, but to be honest, I never use it. So when I do pick up another A5 half-year Stalogy for the 2021-22 academic year, because I do work in a community college and therefore the academic year is how I do this, I will bring over the number of squares across and down, and then otherwise I'm not going to care about that. This is a vellum tip-in, or actually I think this is acetate, and I do like to put quotes in my planner / journal, but I usually like them to be a bit on the sassy or snarky side. So to introduce this, which started October 2020, it was I have two moods: constant panic and worrying about every detail, and it is what it is. I do plan to have this go from October of 2020 through June of 2020, so I'll finish that out when that happens. Now, the only part of this that actually is a planner is this front section here, which is my future log, because this is where I keep track of holidays and important due dates, just based on the nature of my job. I do need to keep track of that because it's sliding. So every week, every month, there can be different things that are due for the various projects that I have. So this is the only thing that kind of looks like a planner in here. Everything else is more of a journal style if I had to define it. I do have this going through September. Again, I'm only going to be working in here through June, but as of May, June, I'm already going to be looking ahead for these months here because I do work in a community college from late May through, honestly, mid-October. I am going to be slammed with various projects. So this just gives me a way to keep focused on things. And as you can see, it's definitely more filled here than it is here. As I work on reports and pull reports, I fill things in. So by the time I do a final flip through of this book sometime in the middle of this year, you'll see that this will look very much like the other pages that I just showed you, because I fill in dates I already know, like the last day of our spring semester is May 14th, and then I fill due dates in as they come about, because usually I have either 30 or 45 day due dates based on when I pull a report. These are the current projects and tasks that I have. That actually has changed, not that much though, and so when I do set up again for the next academic year, I will update my tasks accordingly. It is currently February 28th, and so I will write in here this month I'm grateful for, and this is a gratitude little space specifically for work. It isn't, what I'm grateful in just my personal life, and so I will do that later on tonight. And then this here, I'm probably going to start working on, I'd say late April, early May. Once the semester ends, then then it's crazy cuckoo nuts. And so I want to start figuring out, okay, what kind of information do I want to migrate to my next one? What worked, what didn't, and what moving deadlines do I need to keep track of? And that's the landing spot for this. When I started this, I did want to keep this as thin as possible. And so you'll see in the first 2 months, I only did highlighters, pens, and ink pens. And so the quote for October was, "I licked it, so it's mine." And then I was using one printable because I didn't want to have to draw out the month. But then the rest of the month, I did use my stencil from Christy Marie Designs, and it's actually the outline of the stencil. And then I was on a weekly basis figuring out what kind of weekly setup I liked. The main purpose of this is for me to track my completed tasks, because I do need to submit that information on a weekly basis. But I've also incorporated thoughts in, thoughts out, and then, as you can see in later weeks and months, also a quote of the week and like a daily calendar. And so this was very themed out. As you can see, while week to week it may change, the same mild liner was used for all of them. In these first few months, I was also taking notes during department meetings. I have since stopped that because I never refer back to this. I'll refer to completed tasks if I need to. More often than not, I'll refer to my future log. That's actually something I refer to quite a bit, but the notes I never refer to. This quote is funny, and I'll show you why in just a little bit, but the quote for November was, "I'm not responsible for what my face does when you talk." And again, this was all a mild liner. Some of this was brush pens, some of this was just my regular mild liners. I was still using this, and because I didn't have a space to write, I did do a color code of the days that I was in the office, working from home, and then any holiday, sick, or vacation days. And again, the setup is pretty much the same. I did use a little bit more colors. I did add a little sticker here and there, but again, it's mostly pen and highlighter to paper. And I do love the look of this. And again, still more note pages. December 2020 is when I started doing more decoration. And at the time, I thought that this was just going to be the one-off because there was no other place that I was journaling for the month of December that was inherently Christmassy. So that's why I wanted to do that in here. I don't want to get this too chunky, or more importantly, too heavy. The quote for December was, "It's all fun and games till Santa checks the naughty list." These are some of my favorite stickers. They're the Hita Girl stickers. And then again, final month where I used this kind of calendar where I needed to color code what these certain things meant, because I do like seeing it just in a monthly overview, but I also put the information on a weekly basis. And then I track the same things from month to month. This just looks a little different from before because I wasn't using that stencil. This here I did at the end of the month, so I thought I would do a lot more Itaki videos, but I didn't. And I didn't want all of that dead space, and so I picked this out of, I think it's from the Botanical sticker book. Although it might be from some other sticker book, but it's definitely from a sticker book. And then on a week-to-week basis, I was trying out different printables. I do like drawing it in, but it does take a lot of time. Purchasing printables just frees up my time, and it just makes the process a lot easier and a lot faster. And so for December, it just, to me, it was really pretty, and it was a lot of fun. And I realized I really like decorating in my work planner. I don't need any of the decoration. I don't need a lot of what you see, but it just makes me excited to come in here. And while I'm listing the things that I have completed, it just makes me excited to want to finish things so I can come in here. I know, bizarre. I think this was the last month that I did notes. I'm not sure. I am separating either with acetate or vellum sheets that I have. This is Goodbye 2020, Hello 2021. And that's why that quote was funny. I did not realize until recently I wrote that quote twice. So for January, I am still not responsible for what my face does when you talk. I love the colorful vibe of this, especially with all of the more deeper jewel tones of December. And then I really leaned into the printables from Claudia's shop, Naked Grids, and that's predominantly all of the printables that I've been using since January. And so printable, this I just did one of those Dutch door things just because I wanted to try it out. Another printable, very colorful. This is just Mildliner pens, I think with some of my Pigma Microns. Again, even though week to week it doesn't necessarily look exactly the same, it definitely looks cohesive on a monthly basis just because of the colors. And this was the final week of January. And then going into February, I did want to put in some coloring pages in here because February has Valentine's. I chose the quote, "The more you weigh, the harder it is to kidnap you. Stay safe. Eat cake." Now, I didn't get a chance to color this page, but I like having it in here because I do color sometimes during my lunch break if I'm not editing videos, before work if I get there super early, or during meetings where I don't need to pay that close attention, because I can color and still pay some attention. And then again, same calendar, same monthly overview tracking sheet here. This I added in because I did not do as many talkie videos as I thought, and I just like taking up the space. This is a coloring page that I did cut, and I did finish this one. I didn't write down my days in the office for last week, so once I'm done filming, I will go ahead and write that in just so that it's accurate. Again, I do a week on one page, and then the opposite page is with decoration. When I go into the next one, I'm going to need to count out the pages because I'm no longer taking notes in here. I'm going to have more pages than I actually need. So doing a 2-page spread like this is really just so that I get as much value out of my book by way of using the pages. Now, if I do have an excessive amount of pages, once this is done, then I'll see what to do with it, but that's something I'll need to deal with mid-year. This was week, two? Yeah, week 2, and this was the only other page that I finished. And I do have both mild liners at work, markers at work, and I've also taken some color pencils, and so I have a variety of different tools to choose from. This is a blank page. Again, another week on one page, and this is where I track office work from home schedule. This is where I track completed tasks. I do thoughts in, thoughts out every week, usually some kind of weekly quote of the week that's sassy or snarky, and then I do like to keep a list of things that I'll need to remember for the next week. And this is the final week of February here. Again, because I will be having this through June, it doesn't bother me that it's not colored in. And honestly, if I don't get a chance to coloring this in, I still like the artwork. And so it's not going to be a problem if this just remains black and white like this. It was actually quite a busy week, this final week of February, and so I had to take some of those completed tasks down here, but I didn't have that much on my to-do list to start out with, because when I map out the first week of March, which will be the next video, I will take some of that into account. And then the last thing I'm going to show you is this right here. I did want to add in 2 more pages for coloring just to finish out the month. Plus, you know, if I get on a roll to color, I like just having the pages there waiting for me versus wanting to color and not having anything to color while I'm in the office. It's not so much of a problem if I'm here at the house, but if I'm at work, I don't have this particular coloring pages there. I do have a paper cutter. I do have glue. I have a bunch of craft things at the office. I just don't have this, and I don't feel the need to take this because I won't put this particular coloring pages, or I don't think any other coloring pages, for any of the future months. Not that I can think of as of right now. But yeah, I did want to do a flip through of this. You can see there has been a progression on how I've used this. And again, it makes me happy just flipping through it. I love seeing the color or not. I love seeing the washi. I love seeing these little happy girls. And this is functional for the way that my brain works. As you can see, there isn't anything scheduled on a day-to-day basis. It is really about what have I done this week? And that really works for me. All right, guys, I'd love to know what you guys think below. And as always, aloha.